Hello, two
All
of my
right.
now fellow Detroiters. Good to see
All
you.
right.
Yeah. How you
All right.
doing, man? Good to see you, Greg.
Great to
Good
see
to see you.
you. And just to first start out about the movie, like with you, Don, this is kind of like a almost not who done it, but who didn't do it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, everybody done it. and
Yeah.
and I think that's a lot of the fun of this movie is that everybody gets their moment to be a part of this plot in a way that's really interesting and unexpected, I think.
That's for sure. I mean, even just starting out with you two, you guys, when you first meet, you don't really like each other, but then after a while, it's like, well, we gotta like each other because we don't know who else there is to like.
Right. We're both being hunted as well. So that's why that's why we come together. But they don't trust each other.
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all. But then again, like we said, it is just like who is there to trust? Now, of course, this movie was shot here in Detroit, which made us all feel great. I've heard from so many people about. I saw Don Cheadle walking down my neighborhood, Rosedale Park area. Can you talk a little bit about that, Don, about shooting here in Detroit and some of the fun stuff you had going on here?
Well, I loved the city. I have relatives in Pontiac, but I hadn't been back for, many, many years. But the city was really welcoming to us, and to be able to shoot in those environments with that great architecture that still exists, that we didn't have to really do a lot to, and just sort of populate it with the cars and the period costumes, really was a great setting for the film and made us feel like we were really a part of the whole thing. And it was very interesting coming back and shooting during COVID, and everything worked out. So Detroit was great. The people were great.
Food was great.
There. Yeah,
it was great food.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what restaurants did you enjoy going to, Benicio? What type?
Is it called Frank's Ham Sandwich? I think is it Frank's Ham Sandwich? And there was a Cuban restaurant called Antonio's. I think it was good, great steakhouse. It was good food everywhere. I was amazed.
Yeah.
Did you get to try any Coney Island hot dogs while you were here?
No, I didn't.
I don't hot dog, so I didn't.
Oh,
I'm a hot dog, but I don't hot dog.
And what were some of the other fun spots for you to go to, Benicio?
Well, we couldn't go many places because we were doing this under a type of bubble. Mm-hmm. And so we were kind of like stuck in, and we were getting tested every other day. So we were kind of locked in, but like Don said, it's there's so many great locations in Detroit. And even outside of Detroit, I mean, even when we shot, stuff around the lake, it was just beautiful. It was a beautiful place. Yeah.
Well, it sounds good. Well, hopefully we can get you back for another one. And yeah, Don, I think got to watch this last night for both of you with my family. And all of us are kind of going after a while, okay, I think it's going this way. And then no, it goes another way. So that just definitely makes it for a fun ride, doesn't it?
Yeah, very intriguing. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We enjoy it too.
Yeah, we enjoyed it too. Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you both, and look forward to having you both back here in Detroit. Guys, thanks again.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, take care. Hey, how are you, Ray?
Good, and you?
Good. Hello, Julia. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Doing well. As I've been greeting everybody, you are now my fellow Detroiters. So very happy to be talking to other members of the Motor City. And just start out, Ray, this is truly I don't think anybody could figure this out if they even tried just by looking at it on the outside. This is more than I know who did it. This is like, I just don't know who didn't do it.
Yeah, that's what I got from reading it. You didn't know, and it was really intriguing, and you think the characters are going to do one thing, and then it goes off into a different area. So that's unusual, and that's what makes it an interesting movie to watch.
Oh, that's for sure. And Julia, I mean, just like we said, everybody, no one's kind of like safe as far as, suspicion in this film. After a while, you even start suspecting the dog.
It's true. It's definitely true. But that's what I love about this movie is that everyone has their own narrative, their own agenda, and it's kind of about how they all weave together and intertwine. And there's this, then there's this underlying issue with the auto industry and the corruption going on there. So it's like, who really is the bad guy? You know, I think we're all just kind of victims of the circumstance that the auto industry put us in. So someone's to blame, I would say it's the auto industry.
There you go. I had to laugh because the story that came out, about what all was going on, they didn't teach us that here in Detroit in school. We didn't get those stories at all. We got the different ones, about the auto industry. But yeah, it's definitely intriguing.
Mhm.
And just have to ask you, of course, you did shoot the movie here in Detroit. So I just have to ask you, starting Ray with you, what was your experience like here?
I love Detroit. This is like the second or third movie that I've done there, and I really like it. And it's nice that they're coming back a bit, But I do. I really like it. Plus, I was close to the casino, so I could play cards.
There you go. How about you, Julia? Talk about your experience here in
I
Detroit.
loved it, but as I was there and I got to do a little bit of my own research about the auto industry, it did kind of feel like a little, and also we were there in the fall and it was the middle of COVID, but when I would walk around, it did kind of have this like kind of ghost town feeling. Like maybe at a certain point, there were a lot more people here and there was like a lot more going on and there was a lot more money. And, then finding out about the history of cars and how now most of them are outsourced and to other countries, it did make me a little sad and nostalgic of a time that I didn't even know. And yeah, hopefully more industry will come back to Detroit, and
Mhm.
I would love that because I love the city now.
Great, great. Well, we'll have to get you back, especially once everything begins to open up, because that was one of the great things to see, like a couple of years ago when everything was opening, and you just saw people all up and down the
Yeah.
street. But of course, obviously with COVID, it just kind of.
Mhm.
But we'll get you both back here, my fellow Detroiters. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoyed the
Thank
movie. And
you.
see you again soon.
Hey,
And
Greg.
how are you both?
Great.
Great.
Good.
Greetings to both of you, my fellow Detroiters.
Thank you.
Always great to see. This is definitely a fun ride movie. You're cheering for one person one time, then booing against them. I mean, it just gets everything going. Even just starting out with you, Amy. I mean, we meet you guys right at the beginning, and just what was supposed to be a nice breakfast just turns into all types of holy heck.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the fun of actually the fun of acting in this is that the way that Steven shoots, you really are doing things moment to moment to moment, throughout the scene, as opposed to the scene, traditionally sort of and Frankie can maybe had a different experience, but at least for me, is we shot in order and each scene we were building from top to bottom, as opposed to doing the whole scene like 15, 20 times. We were doing each piece, and it really lended itself to developing each moment to moment to moment of being surprised and letting that those emotions simmer throughout the course of the scene. Just the way that Steven shoots lended itself to that.
And I was going to say, Frankie, just with what Amy said, this movie is full of surprises, wouldn't you say? I mean, I don't think anybody's going to go, oh yeah, I got it figured. It's like, what? Wow.
Yeah. Even so there's all these plot twists and turns, which is so fun and so surprising. But then when watching it, the things that I was not expecting were the moments where characters really connected, but that I wasn't expecting them. Like Amy, when you connected with Benicio's character and you have those moments, I was like, oh, that little bonding moment was such a surprise, but was so meaningful in the movie.
That it was, and you're right, just about certain characters are together who shouldn't be, at least in your mind. And yeah, just it's just this extraordinary ride.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have to ask this as well. Of course, you shot the movie here in Detroit. It was during COVID, but first, Amy, talk a little bit about your experience here in Detroit.
Well, I love Detroit. I've actually shot there a few times, and I'm a huge Detroit fan. Just the architecture and the history, and and the story of what it's been through. Which this movie sort of explores the beginnings of the car industry, and we were in our bubble in our hotel, so it didn't get to explore as much as I wanted to. But I ordered a lot from the restaurants that were near San Morello, right? That's the name of the Italian restaurant. So good. There were a bunch of really great restaurants around there that I ordered from nightly, pretty much.
Oh, great. And Frank, I know you had a good time too.
I really did. It was really fun. The crew all hung out a lot, and so we got to know the local Detroit crew pretty well. And that was like such a treat because everyone was trying to bubble together.
Right. Well, thank you both very, very much for your time. Enjoyed the movie, and my fellow Detroiters, good seeing you. Hope to see you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Greg, Bill.
Bill, good to see you. Brendan, good to see you. My two, now I can say, fellow Detroiters. Glad to have us all here. And just even start out, Bill, like with your character, some people might today call him the OG, you know, because he's like the guy who knows everything, knows what's going on, and truly like one of the smartest guys as far as everything that's happening in this situation. He's the best person to have around, wouldn't you say?
Well, the good thing about this character, like most OGs, they have power because, and they don't talk a lot or anything because they know where you live and where your children go to school.
Yeah, that's pretty much right. Yeah, it's kind of like you can just go by looking at him. It's like, no, okay, we'll mess with everybody else. Like Brendan, we'll mess with you. We're not going up against Bill.
That's right.
But Brendan, it seems like pretty much everybody other than Bill gets messed with in this movie, some way, shape, or form, don't they?
Yeah, I think my character's probably working his way up the management chain of organized crime, and he's missing a few rungs along the way. I was delighted to see that not only does my character get his comeuppance, but everyone does in this movie. They get exactly what they deserve.
Right, as I just told Don and Benicio, it's not so much of a who done it, but who didn't do it. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
I think. And also, oh, go ahead, Brendan. What were we going to say?
I say I like that. That's good. We didn't do
There you
it.
go. You can use it. You can use it from your fellow Detroit brother. And that's the other thing I want to bring up. Obviously, you know, you shot the movie here in Detroit. It was during COVID, but it was great to see you here. Bill, talk a little bit about your experience here in Detroit.
Well, first of all, I was in Detroit maybe 20 years ago. It was a totally different city. I rode by a skyscraper and it was empty. But now, it's like the city's beautiful. They're renovating, you know, all of the old churches and stuff and ancient buildings, and the street. I didn't see a lot of homeless, and the parks and stuff. I mean, it's totally changed from when I saw it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed being there. And the restaurants, a lot of good food.
Absolutely.
Gain weight.
Good. Well, see, that's what we want to hear. At least you enjoyed the Detroit food. How about you, Brendan? Talk about your experience shooting.
It was over 40 years that my family lived in Detroit. I was a boy, and I still have childhood memories of the house we lived in. And one of my favorite days when I was in Detroit was one that was off. I took a drive along the lake shore, and I made my way through Grosse Pointe, and I had a conversation with my brother. He told me where the house was. I actually saw it. It's still there. And of course, it was much smaller than my memory of it being enormous. But I thought that was lovely to think that in some ways, for all of the revival and change that I agree Bill has discussed, there's some things that really have just, you know, they have preserved. Right. Maybe not stayed the same, but they're still there. I thought, well, personally, that was rewarding. I was really happy to be there.
Well, fantastic. We're happy to have you both back and look forward to having you back again. Guys, thanks so much and enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, my Detroiters, take care.